when this shit just keep getting better and better, y'all. So the all-white town of Arkansas has failed.
So for those of you that plan on moving to Arkansas to build the ricotta cheese only town, go ahead and do it. Do it. And don't be so concerned about why we're concerned about why you want to do it. We're actually not. The only concern that we have is, when are you going to call us to help you pack so that you could get there quicker?
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I. I'm 32. I'm a lady.
This is Return to the Land, a group of millennials who organised online to build something radical and controversial. A town for white people only, that they insist is completely legal. We spent several days with them, watching as the men set about the physical labour of building out the site. All the while, the women of the group took on the more typically trad, homesteading type roles.
So, did you know also that now they are begging the government to help them?
Guys, picture this. A group of people who believe they can thrive by cutting themselves off from everyone else. No diversity, no outside influence, just their own so-called self-sufficiency. Sounds like the ultimate test of independence, right? Well, that is exactly what an all-white community in Arkansas set to do. They wanted to create a town free of multicultural influence, free of what they claimed was unwanted dependence. But here's the twist. Within just a few months, the cracks began to show. Food supplies ran low, the entertainment was limited to the sound of banjos, and residents struggled with even basic tasks, like someone hilariously trying to make birria tacos. What happened here isn't just a funny anecdote. It's a case study in how communities that claim they don't need anyone else often reveal the opposite. Well, today, let's unpack why this all-white town experiment collapsed. Why they collapsed so quickly, and what it tells us about history, race, and reality.
I need y'all to understand that those people do not intend to leave us alone in their little town in Arkansas. It's recently been in the news that some chalk children in America have decided to create their own whites-only town. And when asked by a reporter, they made it seem as though that they intend to just have a town of their own and resources of their own and just live off the land, returning to the land. A land that they stole through crimes against humanity, but who's counting? Many brothers and sisters' take on this is, hey, we don't care if y'all have your own, just leave us alone in the process. I mean, every time we've tried to do that, y'all have burned our towns down. And I'm just here to tell y'all that unfortunately, they do not intend to leave us alone.
Y'all remember that whites only town in Ozark, Arkansas? I've been seeing creators happy and celebrating that the town is no longer thriving. Why? We want them to survive and thrive out there in the Hicks. We want that for them.
So the all-white town of Arkansas has failed. Oh, we found a fork in the kitchen. Like, we already knew this was going to happen. They didn't want to move there. They just wanted people to be mad about them moving there. And I was hoping it worked out. I was hoping the whole thing worked out for them so they could all move there. Listen, when they said, hey, let's play some music for you guys, and had to play the banjo, when they said, hey, let's have some food, and it looked like they were eating stale bread, I knew it was over. I knew it was over. I'm gonna tell you the truth. A lot of Caucasians in America love the idea of separating themselves, but they don't love the actual result of it. They don't realize that the wealth that was built and generated within white America was not through their own fruition, but on the backs and through the blood of other groups of people, Native Americans, Black Americans, and XYZ, everything in between. The agriculture built on the backs of natives, Latinos, and Black people. Their infrastructure also built by free labor and or cheap labor. Their grants and money received given by the government, the true handout kings. And they don't actually realize every single place that has been all white in history, they don't really realize the fact that it has been destroyed also by them. Before they found other people to oppress and attack, to be honest, all Europeans used to do was just attack each other and be nasty and vile to each other. when
This shit just keep getting better and better, y'all. So y'all remember the all-white town in Arkansas that they was building, right? For all the white people who didn't want to be around us to come. I'm sorry, I mean... Okay. So you mean to tell me it didn't work out for y'all? Yeah, not sundown. Well, you might as well call it a sundown town because they was trying to make it an all-white town. But it failed, y'all. It failed. You can't make this shit up, bro. You can't make this shit up. I swear, y'all are the best entertainment we ever.
The first thing to understand is this. America's wealth, infrastructure, and even, its daily comforts were never built in isolation. They were built on the backs of marginalized groups. Native Americans, Black Americans, Latinos, and countless immigrant workers. Agriculture, well, built on exploited labor. Infrastructure, constructed with cheap or unpaid labor. Even government assistance programs, which some critics call handouts, historically poured money into white communities. So when a group decides to cut themselves off and say, we don't need you all, they are, forgetting the foundation they are standing on. The Arkansas community's struggles, makes this painfully clear. Within 2 months, they were reportedly eating stale bread and facing shortages. And let's be honest, if even Arkansas farmers who already work tirelessly are struggling in today's economy, how much harder would it be for a separatist group with no outside help? That is why this story isn't just about failure. It's about illusion of independence when your success has always depended on others. And that illusion collapses fast when reality sets in. Now, let's dig deeper, because the failure of this community is not just a quirky story. It's a mirror reflecting America's uncomfortable history. For centuries, white America has benefited from the labor, blood, and resources of others. The plantations of the South thrived because of enslaved Africans. Railroads and infrastructure were laid with immigrant and cheap labor. Even today, so many of the jobs considered essential, from farming to construction to food services, are performed by people of color. Yet there's a narrative that white communities can be fully independent, self-reliant, and prosperous on their own. This Arkansas town shows how fragile that narrative is. The irony is almost poetic. On the other hand, residents insist they didn't need anyone outside their group. On the other hand, they were literally struggling to feed themselves properly within months. One resident trying to cook birria tacos, an icon Mexican dish, wasn't just a funny detail, it was symbolic. It showed how even culturally, the richness of American life is inseparable from diversity. Remove that and what's left? Stale bread and banjo. But here's the bigger point. History tells us this was predictable. When Europeans didn't have others to oppress, they turned on each other. Wars, class struggles, and internal conflict were constant. Stability often came only after exploiting internal groups. In the US government, subsidies, grants, and preferential policies further supported white wealth while excluding others. That is why calling marginalized groups dependent is not only unfair but backwards. The real handout kings were often the very communities claiming superiority. Now, let's apply this lesson. Why does this matter today? Because every time people push the idea of racial separation, of going back to an imagined past or purity and independence, they are forgetting reality. America is interdependent. Its economy, its culture, even its identity relies on contributions from multiple groups. Trying to erase that is just racist. It's self-destructive. The Arkansas experiment shows us what happens when ideology collides with reality. It reveals the deep irony. People claim they don't need others, collapse without them. And maybe that is why this story resonates. It's a living contradiction. So the takeaway is simple. Independence without cooperation is an illusion. Prosperity without diversity is unsustainable. And history will keep proving that every time someone tries to build a world by cutting others out. In the end, this failed community in Arkansas isn't just a footnote. It's a reminder that no matter how much some people may fantasize about separation, survival, and progress, have always been and will always be collective. Hi, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what are your thoughts about this topic. Also, remember to subscribe, like, and share as well. And until next time, bye-bye.